Hi, I'm Sean Clark, and I'm standing in front of the house from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Welcome to Horror's Hallowed Grounds.
1, 2, 3, 4! I don't care what you say, find your own time. It's not my problem. Reason that you can doesn't mean a fucking thing to me. Take your reasons and drive all night. Alright. Never cared what you said, deaf, dumb, and blind. Money and your attitude of gossip and your gratitude. And yeah, you're not my problem. I've got my problems. Go away, yeah. You're not my problem. I've got my problems. Go away.
So now we're at 620 Millwood Avenue in Venice, California. This served as the interior and exterior of Tina's house in the film. Although you only see the front of the house in the movie for just a few seconds, the interior of the house was used in the film, as was the alley behind it. A lot of times they use movie magic and cut to a completely different location, but what makes this one unique is the alley is legitimately right behind this house. And let's go see what we can find out about it. So who would know better about this alley than Tina herself, Amanda Wiss?
Wow.
How long has it been since you've been here?
I would have to say since like 1983.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so, and then obviously we were shooting nights, so this has a whole different feeling in broad daylight, but I think it was cut out of the movie, but there was a scene where the aluminum trash can lid rolls down, and I have this recollection of filming part of a scene where, down this way, where I go down, I approached the trash can lid and lift it up, and there was all these worms, and I had to touch them, or they got on me or something. And but I don't think that ended up in the movie. And I remember I was very traumatized by the whole experience.
Do you know, did they use the bedroom here at all? Do you recall?
We might have done like a walk into the room kind of thing, but most of what we shot in the bedroom, we shot at the studio.
Like probably you looking out the window, I assume, was
this
up there.
this was here, yeah.
When you're upstairs.
And they throw the pebbles,
the pebble, yeah.
That was here, and gosh, all of us goofing around with the tape player, because we're all spending the night where we're not supposed to, and all that. That was all here.
Thank you so much for taking your day out and coming back to a street near Elm Street, apparently, because I don't know the name of the street you lived on, but I'm guessing it wasn't Elm Street.
I don't think so, no.
No? Did they ever tell you what street you lived on? No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. If they did, I don't remember, sorry.
Well, maybe you lived way down the end of Elm Street.
Exactly. Elm Place.
Yeah, Elm Place. Because every city has an Elm Street, right?
Exactly.
That's your little catchphrase.
Elm Alley. I lived on Elm Alley, yeah.
Oh, too bad it's not Electric Avenue, because, you know, then we could...
I know we could boogie boogie our way out or whatever, yeah.
But no, it's Electric Court, so...
Yeah, so it kind of gives it sort of puts a stamper on the fun.
Yeah.
Whenever I get nervous, I eat.
And if you can't do that, you sleep.
So now we're in Venice, California. That's about a mile away from Tina's house in the film. This is where Glenn and Nancy have a discussion about dream skills.
Dream skills.
And Glenn, well, he has himself a tasty burger. Sorry, I always eat when I get nervous. So now we're at the exterior of the high school from A Nightmare on Elm Street. John Marshall High School. This is in Silver Lake, California. The exterior of the school is also used in classics such as Grosse Pointe Blank and the film Pretty in Pink by John Hughes.
Hold on, Declan. They're shooting something I need to figure out. Declan, relax. I'll call you back. Jeez. All right. What's up, bro?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Got a pretty big production here. What you guys shooting?
We're doing this little locations piece on the original locations from the film Nightmare on Elm Street. And
Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, taking some of the actors back to the locations, talking about what it was like to film there.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, dude, wait. Robert Russler, right? You played Grady in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
That's right. How you doing?
Hey, dude. Hey, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure. Yeah, so we're doing this thing on the original Elm Street, so yeah.
Cool.
It's kind of a coincidence you happen to be here.
Hey, if you got time, I could roll you over to the high school where we shot Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
Dude, seriously, that'd be awesome, but this is, we're just doing this on the first film, the original Elm Street.
You didn't like Part 2?
No, I mean, Part 2 is fine. I mean, this is just on the classic, the first film, you know. So.
Nightmare 2 is not a classic?
No, I mean, it's a classic in its own right, but I mean, this is just, you know, this is the original. We're doing the piece on the original. We don't have time to do all of them, you know. We'd have to do Part 3 then, you know. So, I mean, it's like, this is the first one. Maybe someday we'll get to the second one.
Hey, buddy.
What?
Nightmare on Elm Street, they all intertwine. I don't understand like why you think that number one's a classic and the other one, what, they're not important? You didn't like my movie? Is that what you're saying?
No, dude, it wasn't. I had nothing against your movie.
Dude, was it me?
Dude, okay, you want me to level with you?
Be honest
I'll
with
be straight
me.
with you.
Be
I mean,
honest.
there's no reason to get hostile. I mean, dude, it wasn't you. It was that guy who played the coach. I mean, that guy just rubs me the wrong way.
Marshall Bell.
Yeah, dude, you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about. The guy's got issues, and he was trouble from day one. So I understand what you're talking
He's
about.
a ham.
Hello, dirtballs.
Anyway, it was along this path here that Johnny Depp and crew came along and went to school. So once they passed through these doors behind me, they then cut to a completely different location that we're going to go check out now. So now we're out in front of John S. Burroughs Middle School, which served as the interior of Springwood High School and A Nightmare on Elm Street. The school also served as the interiors for Pretty in Pink, as well as classics like Teen Wolf. And yes, it's a classic. Let's go check it out. Dude? Dude? Whoa. How's the hair? Is it all right?
Screw your hair! And where's your pass? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Clark. I didn't know. Go ahead.
Call me Sean.
Hey, Sean! No running in the hallway.
In the most high and palmy state of Rome.
It's in this spot that Don Hanna, brother of actress Daryl Hannah, read Hamlet to the classroom, which included Nancy Thompson, who was sitting back here. It was in this seat right here that she sat and watched Tina out in the hallway in the body bag and got up to investigate. So the way that Wes Craven shot the school was a little complicated. He took different sections and kind of pieced it together to make it look like they were all going in the proper direction, but geographically it's completely different when you're really here. This is room 104. This is where Nancy's classroom was. She comes out after she sees Tina right there and heads in this direction. So it's in this area here where Tina was in the body bag. She is pulled out of frame, but as you can see, this doesn't go into another hallway. What they did is they actually went over to here, to where Nancy comes around the corner from this spot. She then comes this way and bumps into the hall monitor here. She then continues this way to head down to the hallway that leads down to the boiler room.
Hey, Nancy.
Well, she goes around this corner, which is supposedly going downstairs to the boiler room. Well, obviously, this doesn't go downstairs to the boiler room. That is completely on the other end of the hallway. So now we're in the main office here at the school. This was used as the police station in the film.
Looks like the victim's boyfriend. Where is she?
This was the main front desk, and over here was Lieutenant Thompson's office.
Arrest for drugs, brawling.
Today it's the principal's office, and as you can see, is locked. So we ain't getting in there.
Terrific.
Deal with it. So as you can see now, we're all the way at the other end of the hallway, back by Nancy's classroom. But it's at this end of the hallway where the stairway is that leads down to the boiler room. But the boiler room wasn't shot here at the high school. It was shot at Lincoln Heights Prison in Lincoln Heights, California. Completely different location. And here it is. This is the stairway that led down to Freddy's infamous boiler room. Once Nancy gets down to this spot, it then cuts, and we cut to a completely different location. Standing in front of the Lincoln Heights Prison. This is the location that has the infamous boiler room from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Unfortunately, it's been condemned. There's asbestos and all kinds of other nasty stuff, and the LA County won't allow us to go inside. I was able to get inside a few years ago, and as you can see from these photos, not much has changed since 1984. This location also has the hallway from Tina's nightmare in the beginning of the film, where the sheep comes running out and scares her. Unfortunately, we can't get into this one. We're now at the Cahuenga Branch Library. This served as the exterior of the police station in A Nightmare on Elm Street. The interior, as we told you before, was at John S. Burroughs Middle School. Over here was the window that Nancy looked in on Rod Lane in his prison cell. The cell itself was a set. This is located on Santa Monica Boulevard, just outside of Hollywood. We are now at Evergreen Cemetery in Boyle Heights, California. This is located at 204 North Evergreen Avenue in Boyle Heights. This was the location of Rod Lane's funeral. Back over here is where the family was sitting, watching the funeral, obstructing this tombstone behind me. So, after Rod Lane's funeral, Nancy's sitting here on the stairs where she's greeted by her mother and father. This location was also used in the 80s horror film Mausoleum. This was actually the mausoleum in the film, but in reality, it's the Ivy Chapel. It's not a mausoleum at all. Well, once she starts talking to her parents, they head over to where the car is parked, in front of the Coulter McReynolds tombstone. You can see through the window of the car in the background. Then they go off in this direction. So here we are on the real Elm Street with the real Nancy, Heather Langenkamp. So how long has it been since you've been on Elm Street, or Genesee Avenue as it really is?
I'd say it's been 15 years. When we did Nightmare 7, we did a shot outside the house here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, how does it make you feel that tour buses pass this house about probably every 15 minutes?
It's hard to believe. You know, the house is, well, over there, that's the house that Glenn lived in.
Uh-huh. Right across the street.
So one of the things about the movie that I think was really touching is it took place in
And there's
And a
one
real-
of those tour buses
Hey,
right
there's
now.
a tour bus! Woohoo! They don't even know who I am, so that's great. But the whole idea of like the neighborhood, and you would have a best friend who lived across the street, and that we all had this history in America of living in neighborhoods and having this safety, and coming home after school and your mom would be there. I mean, it was the moment in our history when that started to slip away, and I think that movie really captured it, and that's why the houses, I think, are really famous right now. I think they represent something that we all kind of want.
Now here it is, the house right here, 1428 Elm Street, or 1428 Genesee Avenue in Hollywood, California, just right off of Sunset. I
Yeah.
mean, Sunset Boulevard is right there. You know?
Yeah, it could be anywhere America. You know, it's just very picturesque. And actually, I have more familiarity with the outside of the house because we did so many tracking shots up this sidewalk. There's a really famous shot where I'm in my pajamas, and I asked Glenn if he's still watching, and
Yeah, so?
talking to Wes Craven, you really understand that the house represents like the human mind. So as we go in, you know, when Marge puts the bars on the house, she's really like locking me into this mental battle with Freddy. Like there's no way out. And I think one of the reasons this movie really lasts and it plays so well today is that this is a very psychological symbol, as well as just being Nancy Thompson's house.
Now this is fitting.
They know what part of history they occupy, right?
Exactly. So let's
All right.
go inside. After you.
Wow. A little bit different.
Quite.
This house was a typical 70s kind of home that they obviously had lived in for a long time. And we didn't shoot much in the downstairs area. And but look how pretty it is now.
Yeah, and when you cut to the sets, the interior, when you walk through the door, there was actually a wall here.
Mother!
But
Yeah, that's kind of movie magic for
Yeah.
you right there. Well, let's go up and look at Nancy's room. A little bit's changed since the oatmeal kind of stairway thing, right?
yeah. Was it oatmeal?
Oh, it was like mushroom soup or something. I don't know. Oatmeal and mushroom soup, I think. Wow. It's a little different, but the windows really set it up for me. You know, my bed was over there, my TV was there, windows, door to the hallway.
Yeah.
I could kind of see it all again, that pink, really strange
Make sure
wallpaper I had.
Well, there's no mirror on this door, but Freddy could definitely jump through this glass.
It's neat. I mean, you really feel a sense of place. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look. This will bring back some memories. Yeah. There it is. There's Elm Street. This is kind of my way in and my way out that sadly got barred over.
I actually hadn't seen the film before I bought the house. And I thought I'd better sit down and watch it. So I sat down and watched it, and I was like, that's what the house should look like on the outside. Because when I bought it, the framing on the windows were gone. It was, the siding was falling apart. The door was green at the time. So I'm like, this is what it looked like 25 years ago.
So what has your experience been now that you've been living here for a while with the fans? Because I'm sure you've come across several.
Do you know what? They're all really nice. And sometimes if I walk out the door, I'll see somebody kind of lurking behind the trees and they act like they're not doing anything. I'm like, it's fine, you can take pictures if you want.
Did you see any of those fans stealing shingles and stuff when it was being...
Do you know what? The original numbers, which showed up on the film, someone stole them.
Where were
14. They were on the side of the door.
Oh,
the
so somebody
1428.
actually went and took them off.
Somebody took them off. I was so upset, and I tried to find replacements for them, and they don't do those anymore.
Oh man.
That was really upsetting.
To kind of make you a little giddy, knowing that Johnny Depp used to climb around your house.
He can climb in my window anytime.
Well, thank you so much for coming back to Elm Street and giving the fans an inside look at the making of this classic film.
Well, it was my pleasure, and being able to walk inside there after so many years, it really brought back a lot of memories.
Oh, well, thanks again. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you. All right.
Think that worked? This is totally going to get me a big role like my sister's getting.
Wes is an obvious genius, and he's an amazing leader.
Great dancer.
And he's
But then, let's take you over to where Nancy says Santa Monica Boulevard. Just out there. But I like the fact that it said Springwood High. So
Is that a new name of the high school?
No, that was the name.
It was
Yeah.
called Springwood High?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't remember that.
Were you in this movie? Who are you?
I know, you picked up the wrong person at the
How did you
airport.
do that?
This just sounded fun. What I remember is sticky, wet. That sounds really bad, but it was the blood. Sorry, I was just like
Actually, it sounds pretty good. Depends on where you're going with it.
It was
Anyway.
just so just.
I want to taste the rainbow. Ready? This is also the location that has the hallway from the opening of the film, where Tina's having the nightmare and she sees the sheep or lamb or whatever the hell that thing was. What was that thing? What was that, Buzz? Was it a sheep? Sheep. Was it? I thought it was a sheep. You sure? I thought it was a sheep.
Okay, wait. What kind of cultural arts center? Isn't that
I think
symphony?
some Hispanic cultural arts
Oh, okay.
center.
Okay. All right. I'm not looking for that. Just seems like an odd place. To
No,
put a
we think
cultural
it's
arts
bueno.
center.
Right here, such lines as, "Up yours with the twirling lawnmower," were burned into pop culture history forever. Jesus, if I had a dime for every time somebody said that to me, forget about it. This was obstructed by the crowd standing around looking at the funeral proceedings. And it's pretty jawsome. Hey Jimmy, you still watching?
Yeah? So?